So for combination cooking methods, we want to get the best of both dry and moist. Dry cooking develops flavor, and moist cooking tenderizes food. So the two we're going to cover are braising and stewing. And braising is for large, tougher cuts of meat. They use less liquid in braising, and stewing, we use small pieces of food or ground up like hamburger and more liquid. So braising, I want to sear the food in a hot oil. That's my dry cooking. That is the Maillard reaction, and that develops flavor. And then I add some liquid. Now comes my moist cooking method. So after I sear it really well, I add liquid. I don't usually cover the whole big piece of meat. I just partially cover it. And the liquid can be beef or chicken stock. It can be wine. It can be tomato juice. There can be lots of different liquids that you can use. Cover it tightly. Finish it slowly. Don't boil it hard. If you boil it hard, then you can make the meat stringy and tough. You want to simmer it, or you want to cook it in an oven at a lower temperature. Seasonings and vegetables can be added at the end of the cooking process if you're going to put them on the plate so that they don't overcook. If you're going to strain them out and make some gravy with the liquid, and you're not going to eat the vegetables, or you're going to puree them to thicken the sauce of the braising liquid, then you can add them at the beginning. The vegetables are better, I think, if you cook them with the dry method, particularly the onions. So long and slow cooking, large cuts of meat. So some examples are chicken with bones in, like this picture here. So we have bone-in chicken thighs, which is a lot tougher than chicken breasts. Chicken breasts are a lot more tender, and they do dry cooking like grilling or broiling or pan frying much better. Pot roasting is the American term for braising. You see here on the right a big pot roast. It's a big, tougher piece of meat that comes from the working part of the animal, like the chuck roast or a rump or round roast. Those are the ones that are usually used for pot roast. You can use a brisket too. So we sear it up. We add the mirepoix, and tomato paste makes a really good flavor. So mirepoix is celery, carrots, and onions. You can pince the tomato paste, and that means you brown it up to get good flavor. Remember, caramelization equals flavor. Deglazing is when you put a little bit of liquid in your pan, and that gets the good bits off of the bottom of your pan. So once you've done that, you've developed your flavor. Now we add the liquid, we cover it, we finish it. If you have large pieces of meat with bones, like bone-in chicken thighs or a bone-in roast, then it needs to rest. And resting means you pull it out of the oven. It may not be 100% done, and you let it sit with the lid on, and it will carry over cook. Remember, we talked about carry over cooking. That's when the heat of the bones and the heat in the pan keep cooking that food item, even after it's been taken out of the oven or off the stove. So use a thermometer, check for doneness, and then you can also reduce your liquid and make a sauce if you want. You can do a roux or slurry, which we'll talk more about in the next unit.